Hi, this is Ian Foster from BeAWinningTrader.com, and this video I'm going to analyze some of the major markets that I trade, mainly on the forex markets, the equity markets, and indeed on crude oil and gold for the week commencing the 6th of November 2023. So again, I have to say we have to be flexible. As traders, we need to be flexible, and no more so than in recent times. For example, this time last week, the equity markets were very, very weak. And if I just flick over to an equity market first, we can start off this week with the S&P and the Dow. And last week, this is a weekly chart, so it is. So last week we had a very bearish weekly bar. Now that would indicate that there was a greater probability that this market should break to the downside in comparison to it breaking to the upside, at least to begin with. And it didn't do that. Again, at the very beginning of the week, we had a bullish bar and it broke the high of this bearish daily bar of last Friday. That's a week on Friday past. Now that is an indication. That's like flipping a coin on its head. It's turned a bearish scenario into a bullish scenario. And I have to say, it's not until it breaks out of that weekly bearish scenario are you really now in clear air. And the same thing stands as we speak for the beginning of this new trading week. Because we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each day last week, as you can see, was a bullish day. A bullish day with bullish closes, as indeed Friday was. And if we flick over to the weekly chart, you can see here that it broke the high of this bearish weekly bar, so it did during the week, and it's closed now very bullish. Now, this market looks to be very much heading up to test these previous highs where it previously was. Now, there's a key area there. That there is a significant area here. This low price here of 43.36.50 in the cash S&P 500 market is a key price, and you can see that we've closed above that on Friday. So my objective for this coming week, as far as the S&P goes, and indeed may I add in here the Dow, exactly the same. In here is a low here, and that is exactly the same. We have closed above that, as you can see, on Friday. And my objective is any retracement into these previous bullish moves that occurred last week, I would be looking to take as buy signals. So therefore, we've a bullish weekly scenario, with a bullish daily scenario on the US markets. Now, if we look at the FTSE, we have a bearish daily scenario on Friday here, but we have a bullish weekly scenario because, again, like the US markets, like all the major equity markets, the weekly bearish bar highs were all broken last week, I should say, not last night, last week to the upside. And that in its own right is a bullish scenario. That has changed a bearish scenario into a bullish scenario, as I've already said. But we have a slight difference in relation to the FTSE because it should, technically speaking, break to the low, take the Friday's low out, which is a low of 73.9905 to the downside. It should break that, so it should, before that market breaks anyway, up near the highs that were priced in on Friday. Now, if it does that, then again, I will be looking to take this as a buying opportunity. So across all the equity markets, I have to say, on the markets that I'm looking at, the major markets, I trade the S&P regularly. I trade the DAX market, which we will look at now very quickly, and it is exactly the same. Look, such a bullish move we had. This is just on a 1-hour chart, and this is the price bars being painted blue using my proprietary software trading tool. But again, if we put in the daily bars, you can see that we've got a smaller range bar on Friday, and it's more of a 50-50 bar with a slight bearishness to the downside. But again, if we flick over to the weekly, you can see, as I've already said, all the major equity markets last week broke up to the high of the bearish weekly bars. So therefore, the same thing applies. FTSE, the DAX, S&P, and the Dow US 30 Dow Industrial Average. I will be looking to buy any dips, certainly for the beginning of the trading week. Yes, where there is still earnings being announced in the US, and there will be fluctuations. We have to be flexible, and very much my motto is trade what you see. But that is what I see at this present minute in time. I see an opportunity from which to buy any dips. Now, if we go on to the major currency markets, I'm going to start with the pound yen, a market that I love, and in fact, a market that I've had a fantastic day on Friday, just closed. I ended up getting 143 pips on Friday alone out of my final position on my trade that I opened on Friday. Um, and you can see here we've got an outside weekly vertical bar to the upside. And again, quite simply, if we go into the software in the 1 hour chart, you can see that we went up. We have a stop in there for a long trade. I pulled the long. I actually didn't pull the stop. I don't think there's any fear of the stop being hit until the market opens over the weekend, or certainly for Monday morning. But the market went off the support. It went into bullish mode on a blue bar, and that market just rallied. But more importantly, analysing the market going forward, you can see that the sideways movement and what looked bearish. And I'm looking here at the daily chart. We had a bearish bar on Wednesday, and we done the price action objectives of taking the low on Wednesday out to the downside, which is what it was indicated that it should technically do, but it closed bullish. And that was a sign that there's buying pressure coming into this market, because it just achieved the price action objectives, the bearish price action objectives. It just achieved those and turned around. So it did before the close on Wednesday evening. And again, that then, or on Thursday evening, that was Wednesday's close. On Thursday evening, this is Thursday. And on Friday, then we continued with that up move. And as you can see on the weekly bar, we've got an outside weekly vertical bar to the upside. So I can see now, again, the objectives would be to buy any dips, because as I was saying, I can see this market now going up to test the previous highs here at 186.76, close to 184.90. So again, any dips in the market, I will be looking to buy the pound yen. This is the pound yen. If I go on to the pound dollar cable, exactly the same, a very bearish weekly bar on cable last week. And this market then broke that weekly bar high to the upside, when technically speaking it should have broken to the downside first. It didn't do that. And I have to say that the exact same thing. Look at the power of this bar on Friday. But this market, we've had 1, 2, 3 bullish days on the pound dollar. And, not as much as we wanted to go on forever and ever. There will be a retracement. There will be some buying comes off that. But again, the bigger trend now looks to be going up, because what have we got? We've made higher lows down here in comparison to these lows. We've made higher highs to these highs. That's not a very straight line, but higher highs to these highs. And if I just continue with that high across the page, you can see we've closed above those previous highs. And the same principle applies to the equity markets. Any dips in these markets, I will be looking to use as opportunities to go long. The euro dollar is very similar, everybody. It's an outside bearish or bullish weekly bar to the upside, because it actually did achieve last week's price action objective. The low of the previous week was a low of 105.22. And we made a low this just past week of 105.16. So it did achieve its weekly price action objectives of breaking that low. But again, when it wasn't able to break that low, it only broke it by 7 pips, and it started to turn around intra-week. And as you can see, it's closed very bullish. So again, that's a bullish sign. And the same principle applies. Yes, we've broken through these lows here. We have been on a downtrend. How strong this rally is going to be, I am not sure on the euro dollar, because if I just do this, that is the last significant low there. We're up through that, but again, we can see highs up here, and that market, I think there's a little bit to the upside. Again, as I've said, I will be looking to take any dips as opportunities to go long, but again, I'm not expecting it in these runs here to go up to these highs here, which these previous highs, which are at 112.27. No, I'm not, but I still think there is easy a couple of hundred pips to the long side on the euro dollar. Now, if we just continue on now, and let's take a look at crude oil, a market again that I'm still actually short in. Crude oil has been a great market. It's one of my favorite markets. I'm short crude oil, as you can see. I'm short at 84.75 on the US crude oil market. This is. And that was all based on this weekly bearish weekly bar going back a few weeks past, because for this last 1, 2, 3, this time last week, we're still trading for 3 weeks inside this bearish bar. And remember, the probabilities of a bearish or bullish bar that it should break, if it's a bearish bar, the lows of that bearish bar to the downside first. We know that if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, that reverses that particular situation. But in this instance, each rally that this market was trying to have, it was being sold. The big players were coming in and selling this market off. Again, I got a beautiful inter-week signal to go short this market at the weekly objectives, and the weekly objectives were to take those lows out, and those lows were a low of 81.70. And of course, just last week we went and made a low of 81.39, and we've closed. We made a low of 80.63, and we've closed at 81.39. Still a very bearish weekly bar. And in that instance, because of that, I'm still short the market, and I will make a decision. I'm well up. So I'm 84.75 from 81.39. I'm certainly well in front, so I am. And the daily chart also has made an outside daily vertical bar to the downside, the most powerful single vertical bar setup that you can have. And on that understanding, again, I will be using any rally on the crude oil market to be an opportunity from which to short the market. So short the crude oil markets on any rallies, be long the equity markets and any retracements into the bullish ranges, as indeed across the pound yen, dollar yen, pound yen, pound sterling, and euro dollar. Okay, so the last market I'm going to look at is gold. And again, gold has been a market that has certainly come off these lows on a weekly basis, come back this last about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And it all started with a bullish weekly bar move, because the market gold was going down and people were scratching their heads. Why is gold gone down with all the unrest that we have in the world presently? But again, this was a bullish bar, low range bar, indicating low volatility. Low volatility bars are very prevalent before a large move is made, or it can indicate two things. It can indicate that, yes, a decent size or large move is on the horizon, but that large move could be in the direction that the market was previously in. In this instance, it was going down, and it's like a breather it's taking, and then it's gathering more energy to continue in that direction, or it is taking a breather from which to reverse position. In this instance, because we ended up with a bullish weekly bar indicating that we should take the high out before this low, it has done that. It's done it 1 week after it. It's done it 2 weeks after it. It's done it last week. But you can see it stalled a little bit gold last week because it started to trade inside the previous week's bullish bar. But unless that low of 1953.59 is broken on gold to the downside, then we are using any retracement in gold as a buying opportunity. And I think gold is going to go up and test these previous highs up around the 2060, 2070 level. So that's my analysis for the week commencing the 6th of the 11th. So it is. And if you have any questions, please do email me. It is ian@beawinningtrader.com. ian@beawinningtrader.com. It is also my email address in the description around the bottom of this video, as indeed is my Discord channel, from which you can get a 14-day free trial from being a premium member, where you can copy my trades that I'm taking on the pound yen and indeed on the DAX. On the pound yen, since I've started the service up, we're up, I think it's almost or just over 900 pips. Everything is highlighted and everything is posted on a live basis. It is not after the event. So that is over 900 pips. We are to the good in about 2.5 months. Well, since the middle of August. So middle of August, middle of September, middle of October. We're not yet in the middle of November. We're in the beginning of November. So in about 2.5 months, we are up over 900 pips. And it just shows you I'm recording this video, so I am live, because there indeed is my mobile phone going off. I'm not going to edit it. I'm going to leave it in. So I apologize for that. So it's Ian at Be a Winning Trader. But again, look in the description below the video and you will be able to get all the information to join my Discord channel. Try it out free for 14 days, or indeed email me with any questions that you have in relation to your trading. Thank you very much and good luck in your trading for the week ahead.